Yes, guys, and welcome back to another episode of Chopping It Up with Charms on the Two Blues podcast. I'm back here again, running through everything Chelsea, everything Club World Cup, everything that we've seen so far. We're through, we've done it. We got through the easy stage, now it's onto the knockouts, into the deeper, latter part of the tournament. We have Benfica tomorrow at 9 o'clock. I think we should beat them, to be totally honest, but we got a good track record against Benfica, got a good track record taking their players. Obviously, Enzo Fernandez knows the team inside and out, but before we get into it, don't forget to like, don't forget to subscribe, don't forget to ignore my creased shirt. We're just going to crack on through it. Time is money. Club World Cup settings. I've been very impressed with a few players. I mean, I spoke about it a little bit pretty much every time I've come on this podcast in the last couple of weeks since the World Cup started. But I've been very impressed with Liam Delap. I think that he's a striker that's really starting to find that confidence. Pretty good game on his debut, and then against Flamengo it wasn't amazing. But then yesterday, or 3 days ago against Tunis, I thought he looked great. I thought the goal that he scored was a true striker's finish. You can't really knock the boy for it. Obviously, the finish itself, not necessarily amazing, but the turn, the switch of the feet, I thought it showed excellent composure. I thought it's not easy to take the ball and cut it in when you've got a defender so close pressed to you. So I was very impressed by the finish. I've also been very impressed by Enzo Fernandez in the last couple of days. And like I had hoped, Moises Caicedo got a little bit of a rest, so we could see what the rest of the team looked like going forward. I mean, I wasn't best pleased with the idea of Kieran Dewsbury-Hall being the person that we're showing off, but Andre Santos came on, provided the assist. I think he's fantastic. He's a player that I really, really do believe in, and I think long-term will be a big part of this football club. I hope he doesn't end up just going on loan or getting sold or getting benched the way that Romeo Lavia has been treated in the last season or two. And I am very concerned about what is going on with Romeo Lavia. It seems like he's not really at the top of anyone's priority. I don't know what that is about. Obviously, the guy's got bags of ability. Liverpool's sniffing about him for so long. And there is a reason for that. I mean, you look at the player profiles that Liverpool are getting in at the moment, the likes of a Florian Wirtz and the Gravenberch, that was essentially the player that they were looking to put alongside Romeo Lavia. They've been fantastic transfers. So it says a lot about how he's looked at outside of Chelsea. But just with the midfield, I'm very confused at the minute. I don't understand why Kieran Dewsbury-Hall's getting minutes like that, But to each their own, Enzo Maresca's clearly got time and a place for him from that stint at Leicester. It just baffles me, especially when Andre Santos has provided so much in a different league for a different team, comes into this system and just looks so good immediately. I mean, it's not something that should be dissimilar to his game. He's a very good ball controller, the way that he distributes the rock. I've been very impressed with him and Liam Delap. Obviously, Andre, it's just been the 25 minutes, but even still, just the small things, it's good to just see that it can work, So hopefully, going into this Benfica game, maybe not a start, but hopefully we do get a cameo. Another player was Dario Asugo, a little bit more of a nothing burger in my humble opinion. Didn't really get much out of the minutes that he's got so far. But obviously, there are still a lot of transfers that are planning to be penned, with Lyon getting relegated, which is absolutely insane, by the way. The way that Lyon have been treated and Man City get away with war crimes the way that they do. I mean, as a Chelsea fan, I should probably not talk about all of that. But, with Lyon getting relegated, Malik Fofana becomes a real possibility. It's a player that we were already interested in before these charges came in. So, I don't know much about him, as I was saying with Dad last week. It's crazy, I keep yawning. But yeah, as I was saying with Dan last week, I don't know much about Malik Fofana. I've done a little bit of scrubbing up since then, and he does seem like, to be fair, like quite a good young player, quite a good profile to go for. But once again, it just seems like one of those profiles that we're targeting on a bit more of like a football manager sort of perspective of, oh yeah, he fits this box, he fits that box, so let's get him in and see what he does, I said I would have preferred to keep a player like Jadon Sancho. Dan strongly disagreed with that. I can kind of get it now. I know my perspective on that was Sancho has already shown what he can do in the Premier League. He's shown what he can do at Chelsea. He's a great young player as well. He maybe has a few more years on Malik Fofana, but it doesn't mean he hasn't got 5-6 more years in him. But yeah, I think that when it comes with everything, the wages, the structure of the payment, I think it just made sense to get rid of him. And obviously the end product hasn't been amazing. Where Malik Fofana does have a little bit more of that end product about him. So yeah, it'd be nice to see what happens after the Club World Cup when the transfer window is still open and we start focusing in on the league. But yeah, my chips are just in Esteval at the minute to hold down that left flank. I think he's looked absolutely phenomenal for Palmeiras. Yeah, just the type of player that not only will beat a man, but he'll shoot from a million angles. He's confident on the ball. And it's exactly what we need, in my opinion, down that left-hand side. Just someone who's been a bit more confident. That's what I've seen out of Pedro Neto. That's excited me so much in the last couple of weeks, is he seems to have the confidence to want to take on a man and want to beat a man, want to play in on both feet and just shoot near post, And it's a little bit ultimate teamy, but listen, I'll take it. I think that Pedro Neto definitely is a player that thrives off of confidence and off of recent abilities and where we are. So the fact that he's played so well for Portugal, and then he's just slotted into this Chelsea team and then brought that energy and got that confidence with him, I think it's bringing him a long way. And once again, I can't be nothing but more than impressed with Tyreek George. I think that at the minute, he's probably the academy graduate that I've been the most proud of, let's say. I really feel like he's coming into his own, and there's been a few players over the last year or two that I really thought would be able to make a stake for themselves in the Premier League, particularly the likes of like a Leo Castledine and a Alfie Gilchrist, who are both departed since. So it seems to me like Tyreek George is the best of the attacking options, and probably the best academy graduate that we've had in a minute. I mean, obviously, we've got the likes of Shim Weko, who looks really good, but he's probably going to get a loan move out, I would imagine, just to get a little bit more confidence, where Tyreek George has already got that natural ability, that he just seems like he fits in and he's ready to play his game. Going back into the Club World Cup, though, a little bit more, obviously, we've progressed through the group. It was a bit of a dodgy sign against Flamengo. It's not the best thing to see, but Tunis got dispatched, and LAFC got dispatched, and now we got Benfica, who's for sure the hardest team the best team that we would have played against. I mean, I think that they're a better team than Flamengo, so take what you will. But against Flamengo, I thought we were the better team until we got overconfident, until we dropped our heads, and then we just let ourselves get pressed, and we didn't really find the counter to that. And that is one thing that I will say is starting to frustrate me a little bit with Enzo Maresca. Does seem like as soon as we get it ticking, as soon as we get our ball going, everything's good. But then when the other team makes a little tactical adjustment to kind of cut off the way that we're deciding to play, whether it's down the middle or through the flanks, which a lot of the time it's been, as soon as we get found out, essentially, we don't make that tactical adjustment to try and play in other ways or try and rotate round. I find that we do tend to stagnate, and that is when we just accept the press and we do end up conceding once or twice, or in the case of a week ago, it was 3 times. And it is a hard watch. Obviously, the goalkeeper situation is very unique right now. I don't know why we haven't taken Petrovic. He wanted first-team football. When he had first-team football, he looked like a first-team goalkeeper. We replaced him with a Robert Sanchez, a Jorgensen, both of which, Robert Sanchez, fair enough, he's probably shown glimpses of being great, but he's just, the amount of mistakes he's made has just been baffling, and the refusal to sign a Mike Maignan because it's just a little bit too expensive, even though 30 million, in my opinion, for a goalkeeper of that quality is a fantastic deal. And then selling Kepa for 5 million. I'm not necessarily saying bring Kepa back, but if you do spend that much money on a goalkeeper like Kepa, I think that after they've had a season to show that they are probably overperforming a little bit, at Bournemouth, who did exceedingly well last season in the Premier League, I think that he should have gone for a little bit more, to be honest. And by a little bit more, I mean at the very minimum 20-25 million. The loss we accepted on that is pretty barbaric, but it seems like that's going to be an Arsenal problem. And yeah, going back into the Benfica game, I think that this is a game that we should win. We probably have to win at this point. I'd be very disappointed if we didn't. I just really feel like we've got the great opportunity to go in there and shut a lot of people up. I feel like the Conference League was a tournament that was bagged from the get-go. But this one, not so much. There are still a lot of heavy-hitting teams, but we've shown time and time again that we can soak pressure up from big teams and pop. We've done great in the last few weeks. In the last 12 games, I think it's 10 wins. 2 of the losses that we had, both of them, Nicholas Jackson got a red against Newcastle and once again against Flamengo. So, it's been pretty good, pretty consistent. Now we're through. Just stay grinding. Just let's see how far we can get in this Club World Cup. And, winning it would be great for the money, but I think more than anything, it'd be great for the mental and showing that we are a top club again. And we will be back, because we are back. But that's pretty much this week's rantings, going over all the Club World Cup sort of drama through the group stage. Just my opinion on certain players' performances and where they've been at. I hope you've enjoyed my little thought piece. And if you have, don't forget once again to like, don't forget to subscribe, and don't forget to comment. If I see a duck emoji on the bottom, fuck John Jones, I'll know that you watch this bit. God bless. The Chels.